And now it's Deborah Kobylt Live.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us today on Deborah Kobylt Live. And I'm honored to present to you my guest, Roslyn Kind. And Roslyn has been performing as an actress, as a singer-songwriter for decades. And you are here to talk about your latest recording, The Look of Love, The Island. And Roslyn is just such a delight and such a joy. You have been performing, gosh, you were on the Ed Sullivan Show. You've been on Saturday Night Live. You've performed with your beautiful older sister, Barbra Streisand. And can we not see a resemblance in your beautiful face, right?
Well, as
And
we
also
got
when
older,
you're,
we got to look more alike. I don't know. When we were
no,
kids, we didn't look alike at all. It's funny
and
how.
and in your voice too. I mean, you can hear it in the tonation. You can hear it when you sing. What a beautiful life you've led, though. And what I love most about you is everything you do comes from your heart. And that comes out, it's very joyful in your music. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing a little bit today about your life.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm thrilled to be able to share this video.
Yeah,
Recording.
yeah. So tell me about it. What was behind this latest recording?
The latest recording were two songs that were favorites of mine in the 70s. The Look of Love I did on its own from my very beginnings in the show business, and The Island I probably added in the 80s when I was doing the backlot here in Los Angeles.
Ah,
But I love the two songs, and then I don't know what year it was in the 2000s that I wondered when I was putting another show together to go out on the road what these two songs would sound like together, because I saw
oh,
storyline and I love to sing story songs. I love
wow.
I love to go on a journey. So we dabbled around with it and we came up with this orchestration, this arrangement of the placement of with everything, and it just was so delightful that I wanted to do it. So at first I just did it with piano when I was on the road,
Mm,
or trio.
mm.
And during COVID, I said, I really want to record this. It was actually just before COVID. I really want to record this song as it is now, but I need it fully orchestrated. So
Ah,
it came to be with my record producer, Stefan Oberhoff. We put that together and it came out incredibly. And Matt Cooker did a special appearance on cello. And then I said, during COVID, I was putting together some of my other recordings and doing videos for them via Zoom with Stefan, but I couldn't go and
ah.
sing. I couldn't go and sing or do anything else. And everybody said, why are you not in any of your videos? The closest I came was putting my headshot, two headshots in the last one I did before this one. And they said, why aren't you in your own videos? I said, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll look good. I don't know what it is. But
Ah,
he said, you've got to put yourself in your own video. So that's what happened with The Look of Love. And I was at a dinner with The Look of Love, The Island. I was at a dinner a year ago, December, with friends, and a mutual friend of mine and my director, Monique Impagliazzo, said, Monique was just finishing another music video for Malik Hanna, my producer, my co-producer on this video. I met him through Monique. It's become like a little family.
right.
So so Nicole, our mutual friend, said, Rosie wants to do a video. So she was in the middle of doing Malik's, but the minute she finished, she called me up and we met. And that was like a year ago this March 9th.
Mm.
And we
I
started.
have to tell you. Go ahead.
No, we started talking about it, and she was, saying, what do you see for this? It took me a while to see where I wanted to go with the story, but then it hit me, and I had to tell a story because so many women that I know of my age and older always are saying that they don't think they have love in their life again,
Mm.
and so there's a message there. And of course, with all the LGBTQ people in the world, I needed to make a statement about love is love. And anything else that comes out of this, which depends on how people are watching it, because I left it up to people's own minds, their own brains of what they get. I didn't want to close the idea. So we talked about it and came up with the idea of, and I said I would love to open it I'm in a bistro. I wanted the hat that I was wearing. I wanted actually them to come in from the back, you know, from up high and come back where we were able to get for a location. You couldn't do that. So I wanted the camera to come in this way and come around, but it got done the way it got done.
I have to tell you, I cried when I saw the video. It is so endearing. It is so beautiful. It touched my heart. You did your job well, and you really is beautiful. And the music, the way you sing this, it's so soulful, Roslyn. I have to tell you. But I also want to go back to something you said about women, perhaps of a certain age, talking about love and finding love again. What does that look like? Is it about finding a significant other, a lover, or is it about loving oneself or your friends? How do you see it, or is it all the above? Tell me.
It's all of the above. I don't
Yeah.
leave a stone unturned. To me, it can relate to anybody from where they're coming and what their needs are. The bottom line is love, and everything begins and ends with love. God created this earth out of love. He put us on this earth to take care of it, not to ruin it. He gave us dominion to take care of it and let it blossom for future generations. And this is something we need to pay attention to in everything we do. The people have to come together in light and love and not be so hateful and and distrusting of what they don't know or what is not in their immediate arena. Open your heart to accept a person that might be different than you. You know, open to challenges, open to learn. Don't be so narrow-minded.
Yeah.
In your heart instead of, your greed or your pocketbook. We could have such a much better world.
As I look back at history, from the beginning of humanity, or at least recorded humanity, it's so complicated, right? There's always a tug of war, good versus evil. And you're right. Isn't it just a little easier just to choose one side over the other, right? And I know that you're getting this across in your music, correct?
I'm trying to, I'm doing my best. And when I perform to my audiences, same thing. I really go for the message in the song, even if it's a pop song. I have a way of delivering it where I come from. I guess it just reads out. I can't help, I don't think about it. That's how it comes out of me. I feel God gave me this gift and I'm supposed to use it for this reason.
You say where you come from. Let's talk for those who might not know. Although I don't know how people don't know this. Let's talk a little bit about your background, where you grew up in New York, and also your mom. Your mom reminds me of my mom, right? From immigrant parents, and never, oh my God, that was terrific. It was like you did something outstanding. I came in first in the race. Nothing. It's like it was a certain time, and they didn't mean it. I once said to my mom, just listen to this. Mom, when she was much older, I said, why didn't you say, something nice? When she goes, well, back then I thought you knock somebody down to boost you up. And do you know what I mean? Like they just were very stoic people and really thought they were doing their very best to raise their children, right? Talk to me about your mom and about growing up.
Well, my mom was she had a hard life because she lost her first husband, and she and my father probably never should have gotten together. And so she had to raise 2 children and 3 as a single mother. But, she was raised, my grandparents were totally immigrant and totally probably fearful because my mother even never learned to swim. She was afraid of swimming. She had a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Being out or in the world. I mean, through her life, she got to earn her laurels and, go to school and all this kind of stuff. But when it came to us, she wasn't the complimentary kind of mother. It's like to get a compliment out of her. It was like, oh my God, like you're saying, you come home with a full A report card. It's okay. Finish.
Yeah.
But if you did something wrong, you would hear about it.
Oh yeah.
You would hear about it. And she made light of everything. And I remember sometimes she had coffee clutches with other women in the neighborhood who were also single mothers and had daughters. And these mothers were bragging about their daughter. Oh, my blah, 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 my blah, blah, blah. And I would say afterward, I would hear this. And when we go home, I say, Ma, how come everybody else is talking about their children except you? She says, I don't brag. I would let them come to me and tell me about my children. I don't push that out on them. I know what my children
Interesting.
are, but I need them. I need, let them do good in the world and let people come tell me.
Mm.
That's how
Now,
she is.
as a little kid, you loved performing, right? In the living room, in your home. And mom, really, you get all that from mom, you and your sister.
Yeah, well, from our maternal grandfather. That's where it all
Ah,
started in
he
Russia.
was
He was
he
a
was a
cantor in Russia, but when he came here, he didn't practice.
oh,
And so, but that's where the vocal talents come from Mama's mom, Mama's papa, down to my sister and me, and we run the gamut of the piano. You know, my mother's the soprano, then my sister, and I bring up the bottom end here, and now my nephew is singing too. So
right.
it was passed on from his mom to him, and his father.
That's
Elliot sings too. So
wow, what a family. But what talk to me, walk us through a little bit. What was it like on on a typical Sunday, on a typical Saturday, were you playing the piano, were you looking in the mirror singing? These musical families to me and how it runs through the genetic pool is outstanding to me. What it sounds to me very delightful, right? Like a very happy time.
there were times where, like when I was a little kid, my sister taught me how to harmonize on "Row, Row, Row Your Boat," which, by the way, I'm terrible at harmonizing today. I can't. I gotta have
Ah,
terrible. But singing as a family wasn't. We didn't really sing much like that as a family. There were times where we would come together around a brand new tape recorder, and the three of us. One time,
ah,
I stick that in my mind with a reel to reel. One of those reel to reel, and we were singing. My mom was singing, my sister was singing, and I was like going to grade school, so I was singing songs from Hebrew school, like "Zum Gali 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 Zum Gali Gali," and then I went
that's a
on to
great.
then I would go on to like, "I've got sixpence, jolly jolly sixpence. I've got sixpence that'll last me all my life." And if you know that song, you know it never comes to an end. So at some point, my sister had to go da-da-dum, like to end it.
I love that. Oh, I love
And
that.
and my mom would sing, but we had to feed her the words because she never knew the words. And then my sister would compare their voices or whatever, because the two of them could go higher than me.
Right.
But then then I would sing, and then what did I sing? "Don't throw bouquets at me," and my sister went la 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 la. It was like that was like a fun thing. It didn't happen often, but it was sweet when it did. As other than that, I was talking about other than my childhood when I was older and singing in the mirror and acting out plays that I would create in my head, or dances
I
that I would create a dance to Exodus, the movie track. I
yeah.
I did Broadway shows that once I got to know theater. If I loved a show, I would play the record over and over again, sing all the parts, male and female, duets. I did them all. And I would always come home from school. The mirror was my friend, I mean, even I would just act things out that I loved. I would create stories from television shows that I loved. I would write myself in the script, and in my pretend world, act it out. I did so much pretend by myself that I guess that's where the creativity grew, because you didn't have that when you were with your outside friends doing the monkey bars and all that kind of stuff. But I spent a lot of time alone with music. I mean, that's what was filled my heart. That's where I was the happiest.
Yeah. Did your mom ever walk in on you doing that? Because I remember I was a little kid when Thriller came out, right? And oh my
Great.
gosh,
Yeah.
I would play that on the record player and I'd be in the mirror dancing as though I were in the video. And then as
Right.
soon as anybody came home, off it went. Because in my household, it was like, wait, you want to perform? You want to ask questions from people? Be a bookkeeper. So, and I know, I know.
Messages we all got.
Right?
We all
So
got.
when my mom came home, off went the record player, and I suddenly was not in Michael Jackson's video anymore. So what was it like for you when people came in and you were looking in the mirror and you were sort of fantasizing about being in these shows? What was that like?
Normally, people didn't walk in on me, but if my mother came home and she saw me in front of the mirror doing something, all of a sudden she would go in front of me and take over.
Ah, I love it. So you guys were all
Right
in.
in front of me.
You girls were all in on this. It was unbelievable. I love it. I love it. I tell you, I think that's beautiful. Now, you were much younger when your sister became very well known, right? So talk to me about that, being a young girl. I think you're
I was in
nearly
like
9 years.
I think I was in 6th grade when my sister did I Can Get It For You wholesale. And I went to the
Wow.
opening night of the show and I was wearing corrective shoes.
Oh,
These awful
please.
corrective shoes from this store that my mother bought on Delancey Street. They were these ugly things when everybody else was wearing Miles and Nationals and all these pretty feet. I had it because I was flat-footed. I had to wear these corrective shoes. Oh yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, that was a time. Yeah, but the first time I went to well, I saw her in off-Broadway things first.
Yeah.
You know, and then my first big show was I Can Get It For You wholesale, and
Mm.
I was in like 6th grade for that. I was in 6th grade.
What was that like for you personally, as her star was rising, and you're just a little kid? Were you just saying, "Oh my God"?
I was proud of my sister.
Of course.
I was happy to be there and cheer her on. I was the first president of her fan club. I don't even know
I love it.
if there's a real one anymore, but I used to go up to Manhattan one day a week and do fan mail. People have my certificates with my name signed on it. That's when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah. And then you found your voice, or started to really find your voice to perform, right?
Yeah.
How many years later? Tell me about that, because let's face it, you know there's comparisons coming, right? You're a young
I
girl
didn't think
making
about
your
that
own.
when I was a young kid. You know, I mean, I really didn't. Only when I went into the business, some people said, "How are you gonna do that?" I said, "Do what? I'm not in competition. I'm me, and I'm from, you know, my era in music is 10 years earlier or whatever." It's like, why should there be any, you know, I don't think along those lines. I'm not 84, you know, as I grew up, it's like it became much, much more. But
Yeah.
I did like a show in 8th grade. To put together some kind of show, and she let me get out early if I would come, because I was already, you know, doing demonstration records professionally for my sister's publishing firm. So I was getting my chops ready to be in front of a microphone, right?
Yeah.
But it's what was I going with this? I'm going
Well, you know what? We were just talking about what's it like when you were starting your professional career.
So
Yeah.
so basically, I mean, I was her biggest fan. I loved Broadway shows. I got into Broadway albums, doing all the parts.
Yeah.
And it was in high school. I thought, you know, in 8th grade, I had this feeling I was maybe going to be a math teacher. Again, fed from my mother, be a secretary, be, you know, always have something to fall back on. And I did take a year of bookkeeping in high school. So today I can keep my books. I know what a balance sheet is. You know?
Me too. I do it all. I do it all. No, I'm with you. Somehow
But,
you were pretty good with numbers. That was your
yeah,
calling. And it's like, I don't
right.
think so, but that's okay. Keep going. This is
And
amazing.
it's so funny because my nephew thinks that I love doing it so much. It was like a hobby to me. I said, I'm so tired of it now. Somebody else can do it. But anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah. So out of high school, I started auditioning. Before I left high school, actually, I started auditioning for record companies.
Yeah.
Because I was doing the training on making the, you know, the demonstration records that were sent out to other people from the publishing firm to see if they wanted to record the song. And I got my RCA record deal before I graduated high school.
Wow. That's incredible. It was a very different time.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
show
It was
business,
a different.
very different. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if people can even relate to that, because it was a different time. It's always a hustle. Let's face it, it's always a hustle, but it was a different sort of hustle. You really
right,
had to get in front of people, and you had to, hope the right person saw
right.
and heard your work, right? But it was
Exactly.
exciting, probably for you, I'm sure, right, back then.
I went to somebody's home. I don't know. It was some rich person at one point, and I had to sing for them. And I was
Oh,
signed to RCA. This is interesting. By
mm.
Harry Jenkins, may he rest in peace. He signed Elvis Presley to the label.
Oh, wow.
It's a little trivia.
Wow. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you also performed. I mean, and by that I mean you've been on Broadway. Talk to us about your acting career because you've been on television, you've been in film. I love some of the little parts that you did in your sister's films. But for you as Roslyn,
Hmm.
you've done your own work. So let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about.
Not
Do you
not
enjoy
as
all
much
of
as
it?
I would have liked, but I have done. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love television. I had an RCA Paramount television deal, and
Hmm.
I did a pilot, and I was brought there by Joyce Selznick, may she rest in peace,
Oh.
through Sue Mengers, who got me the appointment with Joyce. This is after I came home. And I remember in the room with Tony Thermopoulos and all these people. It's like I, I was like I felt like my sisters lined a bagel on a plate full of onion rolls in the sitting room with all the other girls from all over. I truly, truly did because I was different than everybody else. But I
Mm.
even did one of the guys there, Gary Pudney. I said a line to, how's your sister? All of a sudden I would say, slowly I turned, step by step, because this is me. Why
Hmm.
do you, it's like, it's so funny. Pay attention here, I saw it was like funny and everybody laughed. I don't know if that got me my deal. I don't know, whatever. But
No, I have a feeling you got your deal from right here.
uh,
I really do. I really do. But so tell me more. So you did television. Tell us about
I
some of
did,
the, one of my favorites. Let's face it. Was I'm sorry. I am a nanny freak.
yeah,
Whenever I'm having a bad day, I need you to know this. I will turn on the nanny. Okay. I didn't even watch it in first run. I'm a girl who watches it now in reruns. I'm a little
right.
obsessed with it. But your role in the nanny is probably one of my all-time favorite nanny episodes. I love it.
Everybody loves that episode. They show it so often. They show it so often.
Because
When they showed it, they didn't know if it was going to be. They thought it was going to be my sister that was going to be on. I think
yeah,
they only
well,
saw the back of my head. Huh?
because you're funny in it. You're just very funny. When you're deadpan, you're funny. You deliver the lines spot on. You're a funny person. You're just hysterical.
I know my mother was funny. She never realized that how funny she was. It just comes out. I'm not a stand-up comic, but I can get funny in my work. And when I'm in my show, I come out with lines that, sometimes I hear something in the audience and I'll pick up on it. One time I was at the Rose Tattoo, and I was in the verse of a ballad, and I hear to
Yeah.
the side of me people here at the table discussing the restaurant in Sunset, Chin Chin. So all of a sudden I said, yeah, Chin Chin's great. And then I went just so seriously right back into the song because I pick up and I work with my audience. I want them to be part of it.
Yeah. That's something you can't teach.
No, I
That's
guess
just,
not. You have to be
no.
comfortable. You have to be comfortable with it, I guess. And I guess I'm
And
comfortable.
you're beautiful with it. And I also understand that, it's almost like a conversation with you. They're the person you're talking to, and you just continue. It really is something that you can't teach. You either have that relationship with the audience or you don't. It's almost like I feel like you're the most happy as a performer when you've got that audience to relate to. Is that
Oh,
true?
yes, of course. I mean, it's so much easier when they're connecting to you than when they're
Yeah.
not. Harder
Yeah.
job. What can I do to do this? And I'm empathic, and because of my path, I can sense when somebody in my audience isn't happy, and I'll work more toward that person to try and uplift them. And before I go on stage, I always say my little mantra, asking God to let me be a vessel of his message of love and light, and whoever is in my audience that needs to hear that message, please let it transcend to them, please.
Rosalind, women of a certain age, I'm going to call us over 50. We're having a moment. So,
Mm.
is it possible that you could be doing a series in the future with other funny ladies, other terrific women? How about not? Why not with Fran Drescher
I
or
love Fran.
others?
Fran is great. Yeah. I would love to. I would love a series. Of course, when I was
Yeah.
studying with Milton Katselas, I was doing comedy and musical stuff for him. And he wanted to see me do Antigone, which we never got to do because I got hired to do
Oh,
Joey, Ferguson the Tailor, and our director didn't want us working with any other acting teacher or anything. So I didn't get to
eh,
do that. But yeah, he wanted me to do that. And I understand. I didn't see this book myself, but a previous friend of mine said when she was studying with Milton that he had a book out, and in the book, somewhere in the book, it said, "If you can only act like Roslyn Kind sings."
Ooh,
Really? He said that.
wow.
I've never seen it, but that's what she told me was in his book.
That must have made you feel incredible, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to me
Yeah.
to have people get it, you know?
Well, all you have to do is listen for about, I don't know, 5 seconds, and I think they get it. I want to talk to you a little bit about past life regression because look, life doesn't go in a straight line, right? It's tough. We're up, we're down. Um, but something really changed in your life, past life regression. Would you talk to us about that and how that sort of changed your outlook on life in a way, or continued your positive outlook on life?
It changed my life because it got more aimed in the path of healing.
Yeah.
And it still took me a while because I started, reading stuff. But in 1984, my career was going up, it was going down, going sideways. And I would say, what are the messages you're trying to feed me, dear God? I don't know whether I should stay in this, I should get out of it. Where am I going? And I was also married for a very short time, and this was the time where it was coming to an end. It
Yeah.
wasn't, we loved each other, but we probably never should have married.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was tearing at me too. So I'm saying, what is my purpose? Where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? And a friend recommended this woman who did past life regressions, and I made an appointment. And it was quite enlightening. I didn't go totally under. I was aware of everything she said to me. And it was weird because I heard that you're supposed to go through your birth canal and all that. I saw none of that. This is at a time when I was really meditating a lot.
So what did you see? Like, walk us through it, because
I'm going to tell you, I went back to only one lifetime. One.
And what was that?
And I, at that moment, was in a duel with another man. And this probably was like Lemuria, like the West Coast Atlantis. And
Right.
probably where I worked with dolphins. I was in this duel over the love of a woman, and she was standing too close by, and she's the one that accidentally got killed during the duel. So they have you do word associations having to do with this scenario. And so my word associations were like world, peace, harmony, love, universality, and which made it like more plural, She said to me at the end, I have been looking for this love all through my lifetimes, but the love isn't really the one person. It was love in the world, to help bring love in the world. And that was where I really had to think about this. And I took it very, very seriously, that my purpose and my path has to change, not from just singing and being in show business, but with a message behind it, a message of bringing people together, a message of helping to create peace and love in the world. Even though I'm a speck of sand, we're all just a speck of sand, but you can hope that whatever it is your little voice can contribute will have some positive effects in life before you leave it.
How has that affected your work? How has that affected you as a human being as you go, about your days with your friends, with your family? Tell me.
How does it affect? I'm Rosie.
Yeah.
But it's like if I hear something negative about somebody or something, or something I don't like, I will pick up on it. I mean, I didn't become my friends. This is a long time ago, before all of this, and it's taken a long time to get to this point. This point, I'm going to say, is people of light. More people of light and love are coming into my life now. So it takes years till you get. I had people of love and light, but I also had other people that I hadn't put aside because they either had agendas or this, or they're not. they weren't good in my view for me.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do. But I had to do it. And it didn't happen all at once. It happened in categories, little by little, if somebody came in, because I'm open. I'm very open. So I'll be more welcoming. I don't so much close it out unless I really feel a strong stay away.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get involved in, as you're in that association, you realize, this is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not good for me. And now it's like more people of love and light are coming into my life. And like this project of doing the Look of Love, the island, everybody on our set was joyous, positive, full of light, full of love. Nobody was narcissistic. Nobody was bullying. Everybody was hugging everybody. Everybody wanted everybody to be happy. And that's how I work. When I'm on stage on a club, I want my musicians to be happy they're there. I want them to take part in it. And my audience, I mean, it's like, I want happiness. I want people to come together in love and be happy and prosperous and have opportunity. And if something is in the dark, like right now, I mean, I didn't become politically involved until 2015. I had no reason to, until a certain person came down an escalator.
Oh,
yeah. So that's.
I've interviewed that person. I've interviewed that person many times as he was coming down the escalator. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes. I'd be at the bottom, myself and my cameraman. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And by the way, that is a shot that he likes set up very often. We're at the bottom and he comes down the escalator. Very interesting that you said that.
Oh, yeah. And he knew we were in trouble.
But not that I really want to get into politics, but people have got to pay attention. Yes. In all areas, because sometimes when something happens, it's because the other side isn't really coming up with something that people need. So, I think all sides right now politically have got to take a step back and say, I was talking about this last night because look, it was election night, right? And I said, where is the candidate who says, I'm going to make good for today, but I'm looking to 2100. I need to be a leader for 2100. Just set up that
in the future, not the past, not something that was to drag you back to the Handmaid's Tale.
This is what I'm saying. Going back to the way things were done in the 1930s when they were born. All of them. I mean, all of them. Like we've got to get people to look ahead.
The hatred and the separation, the fear mongering. And the bottom line is, I'm not going to mention names because I think we all know who I'm talking about.
Right.
But
exactly.
He's illiterate. He can't even finish a sentence. He's slurring his words. All he knows how to do is call people names. And that's like a kid in a sandbox.
Oh, I've had many, many friends in that press room who were either thrown out or were called names. I mean, so I know exactly. But again, if people are going over there, you know what I say, then the other side has to do better to get more people over there. We've got to come back somewhere in the middle.
Oh. We have to come back. You can't be so far right, and you can't be so. There's got to be some compromise, which there was in this New Deal for the border, but because of him wanting chaos, and we want to use it as an issue in the election. I mean, the man is all about himself. He doesn't care. I wish these people would look and see he's not going to do a bit of anything for you. You are not his problem. Himself is his problem. And that's where he wants to get rid of all his problems and then be a dictator to all of us and take away all of our rights. What is this?
But again, as I said, well, we all know that what you're saying is fully accurate. But again, how do you change something like that? You got to change what's being offered on the other side. And that's where I think we've got a problem. Both sides, I look at both sides and I'm like, I'm just going to stay home. I mean, what can I do?
Cannot.
I know.
You cannot. You have to be afraid of losing our democracy. You have to be afraid of losing women's rights, civil rights. Oh. You have to be afraid of somebody who doesn't know this from this. And just
I'm with you.
Who's an absolute child that needs to go, well, I could say go in the sandbox, but there's other places he could go to that, that would help him, that he needs help. He definitely needs help.
Oh, so you've become very politically involved as of about 2015. What are you doing in this latest arena to, hopefully make some kind of changes? What are you doing?
Whatever I can do with my music and when I talk to people.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I donate. There are candidates I love Joe Biden. I don't think age is a problem here. I'm sorry. I don't care if he shuffles a little. I sometimes can shuffle. You know what I mean? We all
Yeah.
have aches and pains and they come at different ages. But the man has done a lot in his last 3 years here. He has done a lot. He brought us out of COVID, whereas the other one was saying to put a light up your tushy and to swallow Clorox. And I mean, I don't
I
think we
know.
would have had the pandemic we had if when those people came back from China, they weren't allowed just to go freely back to their cities without being put in quarantine. I mean,
I
you know,
know.
it takes a Kepler, somebody who knows what they're doing. I don't
I
believe
know.
he does. He just knows how to manipulate and grift.
No, it is very terrifying. And I just
Yeah,
think women's rights, a big one for me. And in fact, as a woman, look
yeah.
at how much has changed in your lifetime, in my lifetime, just having the freedom to do what we want, choose what we want. And, you know, it always amazes me. I mean, this is a direction I wasn't really planning on going in, but why not? Um, I just saw a terrific play, The War of Roses, and it was about 19 suffragettes who were speaking out loud from their own written statements about the time. And I thought, what a terrific play! What a terrific! It was very brilliantly done. And, you know, a lot of us forget the Equal Rights Amendment still has not passed. And I
Mhm.
was speaking with a woman the other day, and she said, well, we have equal rights. Why do we need it to pass? I thought, oh my God. So we have to be very careful, to your point, about the rights that we could lose
Yeah.
and not go back, but go to 2100, right?
We've got to make ourselves better than we were before he came into office. Not even go
Yeah.
back to that, but better than. Because we
Yeah.
are a growing country. It was established that every day we have to fight to make it better for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and we do
So,
need rules and regulations set in place, but you know, people coming into this country is what made this country.
right. And people coming from everywhere
Exactly,
into this
exactly.
country.
And it's not good to be fearing everything. There's a lot of times these people, it's like I remember when there have been people who become Jewish of their choice. Sometimes they're more Jewish than I am
Right.
because they love it. They're looking for a place to do well, to be accepted and do well. And
Yeah.
if they get that opportunity, they're tax paying people too.
Yeah.
Hey, you holding the, you know, but it does have to be done legally. Those, you know, those boundaries have to be fixed. And we've had that for a long time with nobody getting it really solved. But it's
Well,
not that what he's making us seem like our country is a detriment. We're a joke. We're not. And how anybody can listen to that and take that in is beyond the beyond to me. If you really are thinking with your heart and come from your heart, you can't think that way.
hmm.
You wouldn't think that way.
I know that COVID has kind of kept you from performing live quite a bit. And Roslyn, I want to give you the courage to get back out there to do it because people need to hear you. They need to hear you on stage. They need to hear you talk about this, especially this year, Roslyn. We need to get you out and speak publicly to the people that you're performing to
Yeah.
because they're going to hear you and they're going to listen and they're going to walk out of there, to your point, and feel good about themselves. You said,
Yes, that's what I hope
well,
for. I
you've
hope
got to
everything.
because
Yeah,
yeah, you said that you want your crew to feel good. Well, when they feel good, you feel
right.
good. When you feel good,
Exactly.
you resonate that to the audience. When
Yeah,
they feel good, they're going to go home in their car and feel great. And then
yeah.
they're going to talk to people at home. Do you see what I mean? We need you
Exactly.
back.
Exactly. Yes, I know. I'm doing my best. I'm doing one step at a time. I'm hoping that this video is my entree, my re-entrance into my field of
Yeah.
work.
So let's go back again a little bit about some duets that you've done that have stood with you that you think about, my God, that was just terrific. Some collaborations you've done. Would you share
I
with our
haven't done
audience?
many. I really haven't done many collaborations. I did a movie theme for a TV movie years ago that was a duet,
Mm-hmm.
which I
Yeah.
just did in the studio. I didn't perform it. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
the biggest duet I have done is the one with my sister.
Which is so beautiful. Oh, let's talk about traveling with your sister and of course with your, I love this, with your nephew. I mean, what a joyful moment to be able to watch this, you know, on the big screen because I had never seen you travel with your sister. Talk to us about that whole family thing. What's it like behind the scenes?
Oh, well, it was great. I mean, you know, we flew together and we ate together and we shopped and we went to theater if we could go see a play. We went to see a play in London, a movie if we could. We always look forward to eating after the show, but sometimes on our days off, you know, it was just, you know, so many times when you're on the road as a
Yeah.
performer, lonely place to be,
Mm-hmm.
really lonely. And this was far from lonely. This
Yeah.
was, again, you know, joyous to be part of the bigger family, and it was my family, and to share, to have a day together, because my sister has her life and I have mine and my life, and Jason has his and his. But for us to be together in that situation was just the most incredible warm feeling. And then go on stage and share that moment with each other. A blessing, a blessing.
Are you each other's best friends? Do you call each other when there's something going on? What's the relationship like? Because I have a much older sister also,
Yeah,
and often she was almost more like my mom. Even to
yeah.
this day, it's like I'll call her with a problem, she won't really call me with one because
Right.
I think she always looks at me as the
Well,
little
I think
kid.
they think the sister, what does the baby know, right? But
Right.
there were times she had her people call me because I'll call my sister on this because she knows more about it. But
Ah,
we, but we, yeah, we don't see each other every day. I mean, but we're in the same town and we get together on holidays. And if something happens, if something I really want to share with her, I'll call or I'll send an email and get an answer or whatever. It's because she's also been different during COVID. You know,
yeah.
um, it's hard to come back out. But no, we all have our own lives. You know, it's like you need everybody to live and let live and be happy for each other. And when we are together, we're together and we celebrate. You know, it's like
So now that you've got this latest recording out, what are you doing next? What's next for you? Because it's great that you are looking ahead. I like that because there's so much you've got left to give to us, Roslyn. So much,
oh my God, I hope I get it all done before I go.
right?
Well, right now I'm learning a new song that was written as a duet for me and Malakana, and it's also a
Oh,
message song because his friend Jeff Stolper, who was excited that we got to know each other, and thought about a duet and knew what my messages are, kind of like. And Malik too, he always says the right, the light, the right, the light.
oh,
And so he wrote a message song for us that we're learning now to do as a duet. I brought in my record producer, Stefan Oberhoff, to help him complete the song. And now we're working on getting it recorded. We're learning it and moving on with that. We have that. And it's going to be called Together We'll Win.
mm-hmm.
And then
I like that.
And then we're also friends that I met through Malik, Paulina, and Pablo Aguirre, Latin Grammy winners, want to work with us. And hopefully we're going to work on something in Spanish. I figure if we're working with Latin Grammy winners, we should do something in Spanish, no? That would be
Oh,
so we may do a duet with a couple of songs in it with a Spanish tilt. And there's also some TV projects that Malik has working on, and one that I've already been cast in, should it go.
oh,
And
tell us.
I love doing TV. When I did my pilot for ABC, I lost 2 clothing sizes between Monday and the day of tape, which was Friday. That's how
That's what I need to do.
my adrenaline was so incredible. I was very, very happy doing that. But I'd also like to, do maybe some drama, and back on the concert stage, I have a dream of doing a bigger show on a bigger stage about kindness and coming together. A New Age show. A New Age. I tried doing a New Age show years ago, and I did one at the Rainbow Club on Sunset. That was a fundraiser for the Earth. And so I had songs that were all about healing. I think I was too early for my time. Now is where I would like this to happen. And, with my name, based on my name, you know what I mean? With songs about kindness and everything. And I just praise. When I worked in Las Vegas, I was there at the same time as Elvis Presley the first time. So he was in the middle marquee, and it said,
Wow.
introducing a new star to Las Vegas, Roslyn Kind. And I would talk to his musicians because some of them played my show. And I would say, what is it
Wow.
that's so incredible about playing with Elvis and traveling with Elvis? It's because everything's a happening. Everything's a happening. And I thought about that. And I said, wouldn't it be great? It's like I'm picturing myself like on a mountaintop. It could be a club, it could be like a mountain club. People are coming, and they're coming not to hear you sing, but to get the message that you're relating.
Mm.
That they're all answering the call of that enlightenment. Because they're feeling good inside.
Mm.
You know, because it's never me. It's always I am a vessel. It's not me.
Yeah. Talk to me about your relationship with nature and animals. I love animals, and I particularly have a passion for animals below the sea. I think they're so stunning, and we don't know enough. We don't
Oh
know
my
enough.
God,
We also
no.
aren't.
Some
We also
beautiful
aren't.
fish. There's some
We
beautiful,
all.
gorgeous fish out there.
Yeah, we're also not caring enough. I mean, we're
No,
destroying it.
right, exactly. With the digging and the drilling, and nobody wants to believe in climate change. It's a big fight. It's just horrifying. And like I said earlier, God gave us dominion to take care of it, not to destroy it. And when we sing about
Yeah.
our mountain ranges, even in our there's several songs about America,
Mm.
it's like they're to be treasured, not destroyed, not dug up. Grand Canyon, you want to dig for oil?
Oh, please.
I mean, it's like, give me a break. God gave us this to take care of. Look what he gave us. Why would you destroy it? And look how the little hummingbird is coming to take the sugar out of it. I love watching hummingbirds. They're so hypnotic. I love it. I had a Yorkie myself, and I haven't been able to replace him for several years because it was like losing
Oh.
a child when I had to put him down. He traveled with me, went on stage with me. When I was in P-Town during my show, the guys in the back set his hair in curlers and brought it. And then it was with the lighting guy, and I said, if you happen to hear something, that's my baby. That's my son, Joshie.
Oh.
So
Well, they are our family.
Yeah,
they are our family. We have a menagerie of animals in our home.
Yeah.
Pretty much because I have 3 sons. They adore animals.
Yeah.
We've got
Everybody
birds.
Yeah.
You name it. We've got everything. Dogs, cats, birds, lizards,
Right.
bearded dragons. You come into my home and it's not just us. It's a menagerie of creatures that we happily live with. And it's actually a beautiful thing. It kind of makes you
It's a
step out of
beautiful-
yourself a little bit,
And I
right?
haven't been able to get another puppy because I was so hurt by it. I mean,
I
I was
get it.
dating somebody and I was like mourning. He says, "Hey, babe," I said, "No." And I had to get up and leave because he didn't understand what that puppy meant to me.
Yeah.
And so when my nephew got his puppy, and Eli's now 12, and now he's fighting blindness and a heart condition. And I'm actually going after today, tomorrow, for 7 days, I'm babysitting Eli, so Jason can go on a little vacation. But I went with him when he got the puppy, and it's like I used to call. I said, "Can I come over and get my Eli fix?" I had to get my Eli fix and be on the floor with him and everything. To die, an Australian Labradoodle. Oh my God! And the Malik. That's my. I call myself his. I'm his great. He's my great 4-legged nephew.
I love it. Yeah, our dog's name is Leonardo, after the artist. And he's a little rescue guy. I think he's mostly Schnauzer. Got a lot of energy for a guy who's 12 now. I have to tell you, he's almost like a puppy. But I understand that deep sorrow. So I'm with you, and it takes time.
But I love all my friends have puppies. They all love me. My one girlfriend in the valley, it's like he knows you're coming, and it's like he can hear me in the phone. She's not here. She's on the phone. She's on here. And when I'm working with Malik, he has a puppy too, and that Dixie, and she got to love me. It's like they can tell when they're being loved. They can tell when there's love there.
So, Roslyn, you've had a real arc to your entire life and career. How do you spend a lot of your days now, especially that so many of us have been, sort of at home? Are you really coming out and saying, I want to do this, I want to do that? What does it look like for you in the days ahead?
in the days ahead, I'm getting involved in more music and really
Beautiful.
looking forward to doing, my video, another video. I do have another
Yeah.
song in the can that's a message song. It's a cover song as well, but we have to start doing some originals because the covers are getting hard to get. But the cover that I have in the can is called Harvest for the World.
Oh.
And that's going to need a video.
Oh.
So, and then of course the one that I didn't finish, We Can Be Kind.
Yeah.
These are all like hell, to bring everybody together.
Yeah. That's the title for an album. I love that. I love that. I mean, it's your namesake, right? That's what you do. It's your namesake. It's really come full circle. It's come all the way around for you, Roslyn. It really has. Anything you'd like to share with our audience before I let you go? Anything, whether it's looking way back to when you were on Saturday Night Live, whatever it is about family, about performing in front of an audience.
About Saturday Night Live? Elliot, my then brother-in-law, who's still family to me, brought me on Saturday Night Live. He was hosting, and he introduced me as now my son Jason's Aunt Rosie. I love
that.
It.
Was such a funny moment. That was such a funny moment on Saturday Night Live. Oh, go ahead. Talk to us about that. I mean, it's just hysterical.
It's just a great feeling. And I was like so sad that I wasn't used in a skit. They were having such fun doing the skits. And I would have loved to be in a skit, but I was a singing guest. So that didn't happen, but that was fun. That was fun. I mean, there's all kinds of things that, things that happen in your life, and even on your gigs when you're traveling, strange things that happen that will find their way if you're going to ever write a book or some kind of memoir. Because it's like I sometimes say, people say to me, "Are you going to write a book?" I said, "I don't know. I don't think I'm important enough to write a book."
No, that's not true. Listen to me, especially because you've been involved in so many historical situations that people really need to learn and know about, whether it was your time with and on Ed Sullivan. Look, he's been gone a long time, and this is important for people to know in the future performers. What was it like back then in the early days of television, right? I mean, television's still really a baby if you think about it. Even to this day, it's still a baby. Go ahead.
I remember in school doing my first book report on the science of the television, how we get the figure on the screen. I went to I had to do a thing on how it works. It's so interesting what we did in school. We used to have to really write reports then. We used to have to go to the library.
Yeah, I have to tell you, that whole
any,
thing. Yeah, that used to make me crazy because I could never find anything when you're opening up and you had to look through the little cards, and then you went and the book wasn't there, and you just wasted an hour trying to find something. And that way, I'm just thrilled to be able to Google. I really have to say.
Really? And I love going to the library, the big library in Manhattan. Oh,
well, that's different. I love enjoying but I mean, when I had to research at the library, that was hard to find stuff. Going into the library and picking up a book and enjoying in a corner, that's a whole beautiful experience. Oh my God, the New York Library is the best.
Yeah, but I used to go there and do research, for my reports or whatever I was writing on.
Right.
And that was that was a common thing. We had to really reach out and go out to do our work and go out to the museums and do research. Not like today, not like they can pull up a picture and a thing, it's like so much easier for this. But you know what? I feel sad for today is that people are losing the way to communicate.
Well,
by being alone all the time and just, looking at the screen. We're all losing communication, and I'm a talker. So I really don't like texting. I don't like email. I want to talk to somebody. I'm so tired of robots.
Well, Roslyn,
you get the party on.
This AI thing is a little terrifying to me. It's one thing that we're all staring on our screens, but soon you're not going to know who you're talking to. You're not going to know who's driving you, what's driving you, and it's happening really fast. That's something I will say. Book reports, forget about doing research, even forget about researching on Google. Now you just press a button.
They can bring it, the AI can write it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to my son about it, who's in school last night, and he said, "Mom, so many of these papers now are being written by, an AI, and then people just change the words a little bit." And he said, "And there, it's awful. Like he doesn't do that." He was
Yeah.
explaining to me how that's being done primarily in school. So at a record pace. Yeah, you're not going to know who wrote your stuff,
Yeah.
all of that. That's why we look back at a time of Ed Sullivan, right?
Right.
An important time when someone like him was revered. Now, a lot of people don't know who he is, but it's important. You said a
But
book. You need,
every Sunday, everybody looked forward to seeing Ed Sullivan. And the night
right.
that I was on, the first night I was on was a blizzard in New York. So everybody was
Oh,
stuck at home if they weren't stuck in the subway.
I love
I
that.
had a
But you see,
captive audience.
but you see how that's important to write about. These are going to be lost stories if you don't. So I'm going to give you some encouragement to write that book if it's in you. There's a lot more we
Think
can
about it,
learn
but
from you, Roslyn.
lately when I'm doing the interviews, things come up in different times, things that I don't think about on a daily basis. These little memories,
Yeah.
these little vignettes, and everybody said, "What do you mean you have nothing? Look, you worked with Osnivore, this, and all these the trials and tribulations while traveling, or this the funny stories that happen, But I don't know. We'll see. I've got other
Yeah,
things to do first. It's not
you
about.
do.
I don't look at it like it's about me. It's about
Mhm.
what I have to do out here.
Well, as you said, you're the vessel. It's coming through you. Beautiful. Roslyn Kind, I really enjoyed speaking with you. And if there's anything you'd like to tell our audience, how they can find you, how they can find your latest recording, and all about you, would you please?
Oh, sure. I have a website, Roslyn Kind, Roslyn, RoslynKind, .com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. And you can find my recordings all across the digital. Right now, the latest ones, the digital board, at every digital
Yeah.
site is there. And the
Mhm.
video for the Look of Love, the Island, and my other ones are on my page, my personal page on YouTube. And
Yeah.
you can just click, YouTube, Roslyn Kind, whatever, it'll all come up.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful work. I've so enjoyed speaking to you and getting to know you a little bit. I'd also like to say thank you to our mutual friend, Catherine Gray,
Catherine
who
Gray
introduced
from
us
the She Angels.
from She
The
Angels.
She Angels, yes.
She's doing some terrific,
Oh my
terrific work.
gosh. I mean, and she's giving me advice. I mean, it's so fast. It's so wonderful that it's women for women, really supporting women's groups, giving checks where needed to 501s that are helping women and girls in different ways to get ahead,
That's
to whatever. It's wonderful. And I'm so proud to be a member. And it was
yeah, that's a
Monique Impagliazzo that brought me there.
Yeah, I
A
mean, see
member.
the whole connection
Yeah.
between us. I'm particularly interested in women of a certain age because
Uh,
I believe that we have so much to give, whether we're 50 or whether we're 105. I
right.
just say you don't stop, you keep going. We have so much to give and so much to teach people who are behind us.
Exactly.
So, let's all keep going and keep investing in each other and each other's friendships. So, thank you
Keep
so
the
much,
love going.
Rosalind.
Keep the love going.
Yep, right from here. Right from here. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining our show and our conversation with Roslyn Kind. You can find our interview on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, same thing. And then it's an audio portion as well. We put it over on iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts. Anywhere you would get your audio podcast, you'll find our interview. I appreciate it. And I've been nominated for Journalist of the Year here in LA. And
Congratulations.
thank you. In
Mazel tov.
LA. Thank you. And nationally as well. So I'm going to make sure that all my colleagues get a look at our interview. They're all fans. And I've called many friends from coast to coast. I said, guess who I'm interviewing tomorrow? They're like, oh my God, I can't wait. So they're all very
can't understand
excited.
why everybody's so excited, but
Because Roslyn, I tell you the truth, you are very genuine. Not only are you talented, that's obvious, and beautiful, but you're very genuine. And that's what comes through, and that's what people need. We talked about that, right? That's what people need. If it's coming from your heart, genuinely, people pick that up. And I think that's why they're excited. And your voice is beautiful. I close my eyes when I listen to you, and I just I get swept away. So
well, thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Thank you for the lovely comments, and
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Continue to do my best to do what it is I'm here to do.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Thanks so much.
May everybody be blessed and find the happiness and love each and every one deserves.
Thanks so much for saying that, Roslyn. And please look up our interview, tell your friends. Roslyn is a delight, and check out what she's doing next. And of course, her latest recording. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us. My name is Deborah Zara Kobylt, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.